Hello and welcome to this week's episode of House of Tremere, episode 12. And I hope you're excited to join us for this lovely dive into the sick and twisted world of the House of Tremere. I think with that, why don't we do some introductions of our lovely, lovely players? This week, why don't we start with the one, the only Dr. Quangle? Why don't you start us off with an introduction of yourself and your character?
I'm Saburo. I'll be playing Dr. Quangle, an expert in the flesh and the mind and lying to his wife.
Nothing but professional streams here. Wonderful liar, Dr. Quangle. And I hope we'll get to see more of his wonderful words. Up next, Hasib. Zach, why don't you give us your introduction?
Yes, I'm Zach, and it's time to Hasib it up. He is slowly losing his innocence. And by slow, I mean crashing down a mountain like an avalanche. We'll probably see more of it here in this session. So I'm excited to see the ever student become not. So yeah.
Very well. We'll have to see how he learns his way, hopefully, into survival. We'll have to see. Up next, Varuna. Ree, why don't you give us an introduction?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ree. I play Maruna, the tarot reader, and as always, very excited to be played tonight.
Very nice. We'll have to see as more cards are drawn and bad fates are written for all our lovely player characters. Next up, Cass. Emily, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi, I'm Emily. I play Kess, and he's a little broken right now. He's the investigator. He's just a slightly broken investigator right now.
Indeed. We'll have to see how things continue after a little bit of a reminder of who's in charge by your sire. So we'll have to see how that goes. And last but certainly not least, Jordy, Bob, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi everyone, Taking Time Bob here. I play Jordy, the mid-level manager of the Tremere clan. So
wonderful. We'll have to see how his managerialness continues. Especially in today's session, we will most likely be getting the proverbial vampire ducks in order. And with that, hello! My name is Mark, aka the CatsMeow. This is my channel. I hope you're excited for some vampire goodness, and I am going to be your delightful storyteller who will be sharing with you a tale of vengeance and death and destruction and perhaps the rise and or the fall of House Tremere. With that, why don't we jump right in? Starting off with a song. What are your setup props? A radio. Blood is live. As a familiar voice begins to sing through the air. This is Caligula's Countdown. Welcome back, my lovely little night owls. Today, we're going to be dealing with a fascinating topic. Personal motto. Tell me, is there someone in your life that's a little off, a little wrong? Perhaps they're someone who speaks in harsher tones than they should. Perhaps they're people that are often seen as the villains of their own story. Whatever the case, I can tell you for one, my monster is quite an interest. You see, I bet my monster on a lovely night out, singing, dancing, enjoying life. The night was young, and so was I. I was enjoying every moment of it. And that was when I saw her. Beautiful. Dashing. A figure that draws the eye. I couldn't help staring. She couldn't help noticing. In the end, it led to a wonderful, whirlwind romance. Beauty. Lust. Passion. Then everything kind of comes to an end, you know. And the monster truly reveals how horrible it is. Deep down in the depth of his heart. But that's enough about my ex-wife. The next song that we'll be playing is My Beloved Monster by Eve. Stay tuned, and I hope you're excited to ride out the rest of the 90s to the bitter end. With that, we're focused away from the radio back to the chantry of our dear Tremere, as they have all come together to discuss their future plans and, of course, bring all the information they have together. At least, that is the hope. We shall have to see if the Tremere are able to organize themselves, or if the crumbling pyramid around them will cause them to crumble to ashes as well. With that, we begin our scene, with Maruna and Dr. Quango entering the room, where Jordy, Hasib, and Cass stand.
Cass would be sitting.
With Jordy, Hasib, and Cass sits.
I'm Cass sits.
Hasib is not. He's actually not next to either Cass or Jordy, pestering them. He's actually silent, reading the nameless book off in a corner, waiting and reading.
I'm assuming this is the parlor we're going into, not the library.
Yeah. We'll say it's the parlor. You see, would be sitting in the corner reading the book.
Yeah, I guess, Quangle would enter the room. Please turn the radio off. You know I do not like that man's program.
Marina kind of comes in and sits down. She looks very tired.
Hasib kind of glances to Maruna a little bit of concern, but then suddenly blinks and the book goes further up in front of his face.
Is everyone?
With the exception of the quartermaster, it appears.
I don't think he's going to be very involved in the decision making. I'm pretty sure he's just going with what we do.
Then to answer your question, Jordy, yes, this is everyone.
All right, then. Are there any updates?
I mean, Jordy, you know this, but the, Jordy and I met the Unbowed again tonight. I did something to it where light will hurt very badly. Just keep flashlights on you. It'll only last a week, and it's smart enough. It's tricked us once. I'm sure it can figure it out, but don't go into total darkness by yourself or anywhere by yourself.
Have we
was
stalked the
stalking
light?
Yeah, Jordy's car is toast. Sorry, Jordy.
My condolences.
So what do we do? What do we do next then? Are we hunting this thing down?
It would appear so.
It's not exactly our only problem.
It's the most pressing.
Is it? What about our visit to the museum?
We have 2 nights to decide on that.
What happened?
The Sabbat were in the museum.
Not the Sabbat.
Sorry, that was an
Tremere
Emily.
anti-tribute. No, so you were right. He's just being a dick.
Okay.
So, yeah. He's being pedantic.
Okay.
The Tremere anti-tribute. They weren't completely eliminated.
They want their power back just like we do. So I may have possibly talked them into a deal given that whoever's in charge of them agrees and all of you agree.
What's the deal?
We all work together to get our power back with the seed or whatever it is, and then everybody goes their separate ways.
Does this ring any bells for Maruna, because she's immediately thinking of some of the disturbing Sabbat-related visions that she's had, also involving talk of the seed.
Out of curiosity, would Kat and or Jordy describe the Tremere anti-tribute they saw?
Not unless prompted. I don't think Jordy would have a reason to name a profile on it.
Yeah, Kess is just some random Sabbat dude.
In that case, you, Maruna, it definitely calls up to that vision of that strange monster that you saw in one of your visions. The creature with many arms and multiple eyes all over their body. Could be related. Might not be.
We should be cautious. I've been seeing things about related to the Sabbat. I think I'll try to dig into it further.
We have
It might be a bit more complicated than that.
What do you mean?
He said
Yes.
he's working for someone he referred to as the Iscariot. I believe that might be Goratrix.
a
What do we
scary.
know?
Sorry.
No. What do we know about them?
He was one of the originals. If it is him. One of the founding members.
I don't believe we're equipped to take on a mage, let alone a kindred of such age and potentially power. the deal that Kess has broken. Maybe our best way out of this beyond just giving up what we found.
It would brand us traitors within the Camarilla.
Who's checking?
There's plenty who are checking. And Hasib, his face appears behind the book again, popping out. Those people who you've seen at the museum, they murdered to get into the museum. I saw them.
What else did you see, Hasib?
It does not seem so important. You guys survived despite all my calls, and you took your time. But you're here. That's good. Can I get back to my studies? I am very close to unlocking the chest. The Regent's
Say what you saw.
Hasib snuggles a bit more into his chair.
Mark, can I roll perception and maybe empathy on Hasib to see if this is Hasib giving us back sass? It feels like I'm getting back.
Is this a seat sad?
I was about to ask the same thing. I think that's...
Actually, yeah.
Difficulties for those who want
Honorable.
difficulty. Added difficulty. To see, you can attempt either manipulation subterfuge to hide if you are beneath that, or a charisma and expression to show your honor.
You
can choose. It doesn't say
like
what.
everything's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no,
The difficulty 6.
Difficulty
I'm gonna
save.
roll manipulation subterfuge, just because Hasib is trying to hide it, but he's so awful at it.
All right.
Let me show you how many dice he's gonna roll for this.
Wow.
I feel like we're getting sassed right.
Okay, you wouldn't happen to have Orthodox, would you?
I do.
You do. Okay, so that one.
Yeah.
Actually,
0?
I need all of you to make roll D. Also, technically, you
D6?
should have been rolling at difficulty 5 as your Orthodox. Lowest difficulty by
Okay.
your level.
D10 mark or D10?
D10. Sorry, D10.
D10.
Don't do D6.
But I got a good roll on the D6, Mark.
Well, it's not high enough.
I use my crit. I use my crit. Oh, Mark.
Boy. Fun.
I mean...
Our new viewers, who might be watching this late in the game, and are not quite sure what's going on, the blood and power of the planet Tremere is failing. Due to this, magical powers and disciplines sometimes might have some not so good effects when used. And we're about to see some fun mystic extension.
Okay, sorry.
Double or nothing?
I would roll 1 again immediately.
Offers out there. Oh man, and that crit on that 6, man, and I use that crit. Ugh.
But yeah, Hasib had 1 dice to roll in that pool to hide his emotional gate. So
Yeah, pretty much all of you would see that there's a little bit of backlash coming through. Certainly, you could describe kind of Hasib's current emotion state. I imagine he's kind of annoyed.
yeah, he's not good at hiding his emotions, and it's clearly coming across as he sits back in his chair and still has the book open to a page, not really in the discussion. But he says, well, as I was watching over with the camera system that I painstakingly infiltrated, it seems as though that group of people, upon entering the museum had killed at least one guard in a horrific manner. Some kind of creature that was with them. It did
What kind of
something
creature?
awful. Mark, was the picture on the camera good enough to really get an idea?
From what you could see, it was like a creature that had like horrific, almost shark-like teeth, and was taking bigger bites than a human should be able to. So you imagine it's some sort of monstrous person thing.
It was hard to tell. It was still quite dark, but someone who had a massive jaw with many teeth, many giant teeth, who just ripped into. I'm assuming it was a immortal security guard.
The one that spoke to us had followers. Perhaps a pack.
With him?
Yeah, they didn't look human.
What did they look like?
Lots of teeth.
They also didn't have any eyes.
Out of character, did I see that? I feel like I failed that. That's why I didn't know that in character as Jordy. Even though I remember that. Anyways. Yeah, Jordy kind of turns and looks at Cass like a bit like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, lots
of that part.
Lots of teeth and no eyes. So, Steve, I'm sorry about not answering your calls. I was fighting a gargoyle. And then getting punished.
Right, there was no time between those two to inform me or Michael as we left the chantry to come assist.
Quengle will look at Jordy. Jordy, Hasib is sassing us. I'm sure of it now.
Hasib was assigned a duty and was ignored. He has reason and justification to be upset. Hasib, please return to your duties.
Hasib looks a bit surprised at that. He was not expecting that from Jordy, and he pops up out of his chair and nods and quickly leaves the room to go back to the library.
Quengle will yell after Hasib. Make sure you sign in.
Hasib will throw up a thumbs up as he leaves.
A thumbs up now. This is what we're doing here. A thumbs up.
Point of inquiry for Mark on a character. We didn't see the symbol that we saw on the one that spoke to us on any of the other hooded figures, right?
No. You could only see the almost burn curse marking on his forehead, denoting him as a member of the anti-tribunal.
Yeah. As if it wasn't obvious, we know that the others that followed him are not of the anti-tribute of the Tremere. If they're even kindred, or is anyone familiar with what these creatures might be?
Can I? Yeah.
Can I possibly use insight?
Yes, you may. Wow. Okay.
That wound penalty is biting me in the butt.
This shouldn't be.
Maruna, make me a perception and Perception and occult. This will be difficulty 7 for you. Botches don't count as this is not a supernatural roll.
Ah, okay.
Zero for cast. 2 successes for ability. 2 successes for Ew. It's forcing them for Marina's insect roll. Alright. Yeah, actually, look. Here we go. They are. You have heard before that the Zemiti follow a practice that is called Vazu or Vostu. It essentially, actually no, wouldn't be that one. It'd be a. Here we go. Slashed. You know that the Zemiti practice a process by which most would know to them as war ghouls. They are humans or ghouls that have been modified by the flesh crafting ability of the Zemiti. Either by changing the way they look, giving them more arms, giving them stronger flesh, giving them more bones, and in some cases giving them great big human maws. Eventually, these are the warriors/servitors of Zemiti, and they are used to carry out messy business. For you, Maruna, you see a theme layout before you. A hunched over figure. In the darkness, you see them hunched over what looks to be a body that drips red with gore and blood. You hear the sounds of chewing, of tearing flesh and cracking bone, before you see the creature stop, turn around to face you. You see that it has no eye, no nose, just 2 little slits where the nose would be, and a large mouth that glues back, with sharp rows of teeth used for tearing and cutting. You see that the teeth are stained red with bits of blood and bones stuck in them. Yet as it happens, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And then another. And then a third. A turn your round face. That large. The eyes on its body open up and it looks through those. So you are the one that is buying. I know you. Oh, child. God will find you. As you snap back to reality.
It sees me, it saw me.
What saw you, Marina?
That thing, that... One of them with the... Some of them had no eyes. This one has eyes all over, covered in them. As they see things, they see everything. They saw me looking at them. They know. They know.
Well, given
What do
what
we
that
got?
thing likely is, it seems we might have a new enemy to add to the list. From the sound of it, Zamish.
We really must do something about the wards in this place.
We should tell the sheriff the Sabbat are in town.
Before we get too far away from the subject of the museum, during the dinner with my estranged wife, it turns out that she is, she's running the exhibit there on the Dacian artifacts, as well as Haiti for some reason, though I did not know she had any expertise there. Things changed. But she'll be the one organizing the exhibit and potentially giving the lecture on Thursday.
Okay.
Also, if this thing with the Sabbat comes to blows, or the anti-tribute, if we could acquire one of these war ghouls, it would be interesting for my studies.
I don't think you should be dabbling in those things.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
Speaking of thoughts, so we have the Sabbat who have a Zamish and one of us. And we have a gargoyle. We're not strong enough to take on the Sabbat. I think that becomes a Camarilla issue. The only downside is we're going to have to tell them. Or at least tell one of them in power that we have none.
We learned a little bit more. The sheriff got us out of any masquerade breach. It seems that the prince has been ignoring the sheriff. Very similar
Prince
to
hasn't
our...
been seen.
Indeed.
Oh, also, Jordy volunteered me to be a deputy for the sheriff.
How wonderful, Kess. I congratulate you on your recent promotion.
How do you feel about that?
I didn't need it to get the information they wanted, but sure. Add it to the list of my very odd titles that make no sense.
We might need access to things that only a hound, a deputy, or a sheriff can get access to. And it didn't make sense for me to play the role. And no one else was there.
I'm going to make a statement, and I think this is something that we should consider. Things are slowly going out of our control. One would say fast at this point. We should consider removing ourselves from the equation and kind of allowing things to progress through their natural how they're going to the chips to fall how they may fall here. We are not equipped to deal with the Sabbat, and the Camarilla will want something in return for assisting us, and we are without power. We are not equipped to deal with...
We let the Sabbat take the seed.
Maybe we grab the seed, and then we leave town. That's our primary goal, is it not?
Where did this seed come from again?
Carpathian Mountains, right?
Yep.
Mark, can I connect some dots here? Given the success on the... Okay. The ancestral home of Clan Zamisi.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I just wanted to voice this thought before we committed ourselves to a path of potential ruin. If we decide that, hey, we're going to see this thing through to the end, then I'm all in. But I want to make sure that I at least put the thought out there. Since we're not doing any secrets anymore.
So the deal is off the table, I'm going to pretty confidently say. But
Unless it's a strategy, I guess.
I'm not confident in my ability to strategize around them.
At the very least, it sounds like we're dealing with some very powerful kindred.
We need help.
Well, I don't know that much, but I do know that the Sabbat are almost universally considered an enemy.
So if we tell the sheriff that the Sabbat are in town and cornered us, in Toreador territory, no less.
I've been making this mistake this whole time of thinking this was entirely about the Tremere. But it seems bigger than the Tremere.
It is.
The Assamites, the Prince, the Zmish.
So we need to gather allies, then.
The only connections I have are in the Nosferatu.
They would be
And
great.
Caius. They would want something in return. I can promise them something. I'd be willing to.
It would be. Unless we can convince them, more of them, that it's in their best interest as much as it is in ours.
They don't care. Not the Nosferatu. They'll be
They're
fine without us.
They're under threat. They might care. You think this about will? It already said it's not just the Tremere.
I can set up a meeting if you all want to speak with them.
I have connections in the Ventru, and conveniently, they've already requested a favor.
I probably shouldn't be there for that one.
No, you shouldn't be. And Kess, I would like you to look into this, as this is kind of right up your alley. There's someone in town from Clan Ravnos by the name of Duke. Could you figure out what they're doing here? I know you're already going to talk to the Nosferatu, so maybe they may know something.
Do you have a secret to trade? Or information to trade? Favors. They don't give anything for free. Just let me know.
Why are we concerned with a rogue? Just another piece of the puzzle?
Potentially. Maximilian Walton requested this of me. Marquis Ventry, right? Yes.
He is, in fact, he is the primogeniture of the men.
A favor for a favor, I guess. But, I I don't know what connections Caius has. But he's certainly not happy with me, so it's probably better that somebody else asks him.
Before we
I
make
can-
any steps, I think we need to make a very big decision here. And even speaking of this decision is
Zinix.
we need to decide whether we are part of the Ivory Tower or if we take these steps independently. If we are throwing away everything the Tremere started and they found their way into power, it could be found again. The question is, are we willing to break everything that's been established for us? Because these subtle movements we're making are doing that with or without this decision. Every time we make an agreement with the Sabbat or talk to someone wanted or hunted,
Can I ask a question? When
Very
the
good.
pyramid fell, when we are fighting for our survival, what did the Ivory Tower do for us?
They didn't know it was happening. Not really. We didn't tell them.
Ortho intelligence, politics, skeptical data.
Wow. We are struggling.
it's 5 days.
Why are we all so bad at this?
These aren't supernatural rolls, so botches aren't live.
So in that case, both me and Dr. Quengle,
On success, you guys have heard that there is, in fact, an alternative to the Ivory Tower in the modern age. They call themselves the Anarchs, aka the Anarch Movement. They are a group of normally neonates, but there are some who are older in their ranks, who broke away from the Ivory Tower in the hopes of finding their own freedom away from the tyranny of the Elder. There is, in fact, a function of a group of Anarchs within this game who could be sought out if you wish, but knowing though that doing so would make you an enemy of the Ivory Tower, and also, quite possibly, an enemy to the other Tremere that exists around the world. But they still live.
The third path is the Anarchs, not putting ourselves in league with the Sabbat or making ourselves fully independent. Though we would still be traitors and branded as enemies of the Ivory Tower.
what Anarchs stand for is something. Perhaps we'd find a place among them.
Their numbers aren't enough. Not for the Sabbat. Not for this.
If they could be persuaded to our side, those numbers would be better than what we have now. Any would. If we think the Camarilla will care enough to do something before it's too late for us, then sure, but for some reason I doubt that.
We still have members of our own clan here. Sires. Making this decision would turn them directly against us.
One of them is already against us. The other ones are dead or not a part of the equation. Hasib's sire is out of town. I haven't spoken with my sire in some time, so he could be dead. I wouldn't know. I think... Would we rather die a part of the ivory tower or live on as traitors? And if you want my opinion on this, I'd rather live.
Are you so sure we'd die in the Camarilla?
The way things are going, I don't think that...
They don't know.
Yes, they don't know. And when they find out, maybe they will assist us, and maybe I'm wrong and a pessimist. Or maybe they will wash their hands of us.
Maybe
They've already allowed the Assamites in town. They know our history with the Assamites.
So... Based on what I know, Caius won't leave the ivory tower, which means I can't. And I don't say that I don't want to, I say that I can't. He'll gesture to his blood-red eyes and very broken body. He can do this without being near me. He did this from his haven. He'd just kill me.
Either way, we have to take care of the Kaya situation. And I believe we've decided on the path of conflict by supplication. Or has that decision changed?
I don't know.
Myrna, could you retrieve Hasib for this?
Of course.
With that, we're going to cut the scene there first, as we move over to see what Hasib has been up. Hasib, we cut to you at the library. Oh, God.
I think Hasib would have, if the quartermaster would finally have that key that he needs for the ritual to unlock the chest ready, he would have swung by there before going to the library. Would that key be ready?
Yeah, we'll say it is.
All right, so he probably promptly walked in there. Little conversation, much to the quartermaster's surprise, and then promptly went to the library where he has a big study session set up, books everywhere, semi-organized, a lot of them open and just laying about. And he's been carrying around his the nameless book around with him, a little almost like a constant companion now. And he sets it down in front of him as he looks over the pages and says, I hope they come up with a good plan. You know, I don't know what these Masquerades or Agoratrix Do you know anything about these two? I don't know at all. And they're not... Oh, I shouldn't be thinking about these. I should be thinking about figuring out these rituals and getting this chest open and tracking down the unbowed and, doing the legwork. And he kind of plops into a chair, but he still, glances at the book.
The book's sitting there. Wide open. Need to respond.
Hasib gives a long sigh as he pulls over another book that he's been reading into for the unlocking ritual, twisting the silver key in his fingers. And he's probably pretty close to figuring out, because I think he's been for a few nights now working on this. But that's probably where Maruna would come in.
All right.
Hasib, sorry to bother you.
Hasib jumps for a second and then relaxes and tries to look like he is very busy reading something, and he turns and... Oh? Now they need me for something?
They did request your presence, yeah.
Ah.
Are you alright? It sounds... You watched someone... It sounds like that must have been really stressful.
Hasib looks at his hands. I watched someone get ripped to pieces, and then my friends, my clanmates would not pick up the phone. I thought they met the same fate. And Steve just shakes his head and he looks up. You don't look any better yourself, Maruna. What is going on?
Actually, we haven't even gotten to that yet. I was summoned again. My own strings. My own secrets. We have to talk to everyone about it anyway, so... But We've talked about blood bonds.
Right, we have, and Hasib stands up. We don't have to speak of it now. I know. I'm learning. We can speak of these things or not speak of these things if it helps. And I can. He looks around. I can just listen. Right.
Thank you. Really. We'll talk more later. I don't want to keep you too long. I know they have questions and we're talking about Caius. on what to do. But I'll say this. The bonds between the Tremere, they were all broken when the pyramid fell. But, the bonds that exist outside the pyramid still hold. And I am affected by one. And I need to figure out how to break it before it affects everyone else. Because all of our fates now are tied to strings. All of the strings that link us to our past, they're all tied together, and we need to work together. And anyway, I guess we should go. We'll talk more. Thanks for listening.
Hasib starts to say something, but then nothing really comes out, and he nods, grabbing the nameless book in a notepad, as he turns to look and says, Right, let's go. We shouldn't keep them waiting, I suppose.
Marina just quickly hugs him.
Hasib will be surprised at first, as his mind was getting prepared for the meeting, but will then hug back.
And then as they're just start off down the hall, and she'll say, Has the book spoken to you since last time? Has it said anything?
It hasn't. Perhaps I'm not asking the right questions. It doesn't know anything about the Iscariot or the Gortrix, or maybe it's just not talking. I don't know.
Sometimes it's not about asking questions. Sometimes it's just about listening.
Hasib blinks. For a book, I suppose it's not just a book, but
Open your mind to whatever it has to tell you. You might be surprised.
Hasib nods, still a bit puzzled. I've always good at taking instruction, so I will listen to a book.
And with that, though, rejoin the others.
Alright,
We'll come back.
together once.
Because Hesse was absent, I'll restate what's been said. What we're talking about in much of this strategy is treason to the Camarilla. Little bits and big bits. These individual steps are indeed treasonous. So we have to decide. Hasib?
It seemed like one of the first words walking into this room, and it's treason. Hasib, his eyes are wide. He's looking around like there may be other figures in the room. Wait. Treason? What conversation happened after I left? Where? I mean, I don't know too much about politics, but I know treason is bad, and we are already in a bad spot.
We are. There's lots of ideas being thrown out. There was suggestion about the Anarchs. But before that, before we even discussed that, there was discussion about working with the Sabbat. There was discussion about killing clan mates who are in our way. All of these things could be the end of us. And so we have to decide together whatever we do going forward could be our end. Will be our end unless we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm.
So, Hasib looks a little lost as he grabs a pen out of one of his pockets to start scribbling on the notepad. So,
don't take notes on a treasonous conversation, please. We can't leave any evidence.
Sorry, right, that makes sense. And he puts the pen away and crumples that sheet of paper. So we have some big decisions to make, and they include possible treason. I'm assuming against the Camarilla, the tower, and everything. All the bonds that we have as a clan worked to establish. Perhaps many of them are with our elders, but still, clan to clan, it's a lot to forsake.
You would also be forsaking your sire.
Hasib looks like he was struck. What do you mean? I can't do that. That's Philomena. She's what has she been in the discussion? Has she disagreed with this line of reasoning or thought?
We are discussing it amongst ourselves before we exit this room with this information. It has to be unanimous between all of us if we are to go forward with this. If I'm being honest, anyone outside of this room wouldn't be invited to the party.
Can we make a decision tomorrow?
Why tomorrow?
I'd just like to seek insight. I can do it now, I suppose. If I can be excused for a moment.
Very well.
Thank you. Marina's gonna go draw some cards in her room.
All right.
Hasib looks even more confused as Varuna leaves, and he turns back to the group. What? I don't understand. What we are talking about here, in a time where we are most vulnerable, is to make ourselves more vulnerable while gambling on another faction that we have no contacts with. That I'm assuming, unless we have established them, and I am unaware.
We have no allies, Hasib. Every ally that the Tremere had was earned through our power, through our structure. And that's gone. So staying's a risk as well. Our allies have invited in one of our oldest enemies, who's sworn revenge for centuries. That's not all. Something bigger is at play here, and we don't have the pyramid to hide behind anymore. It's us, and perhaps others, your sire, Caius.
Mark,
We
what time is
can't
it tonight?
be...
Sorry. What time is it?
It would be heading into the AM. So about 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, gotcha.
We can't be Tremere of the Camarilla and negotiate with the Unbound. We can't be Tremere of the Camarilla and negotiate with the Iscariot. We're making these decisions whether we decide or not. So I thought it was perhaps time to actually make a decision.
The Unbound? Well, I would have thought us talking, if we can talk and negotiate with the Unbound, that would be a positive Camarilla move, seeing as far as I understand it, the binding and abuse of gargoyles was outlawed by the Camarilla.
And they should be destroyed as such. That is what the elders will say.
Even Michael. Beloved by all.
But that they want, the Camarilla wants the gargoyles destroyed, not freed?
What? Quite
Can
honestly
I-
says what? What?
Can I just put forth something? Michael and I spoke of pain. And what he remembers of it. That's all he remembers. Prior is pain. Pain and humiliation, and his voice changed, and I know that the way that they are made is horrifying. And I know that if Michael understood, it would be maddening. That's what the Unbowed is experiencing. So is it kinder to let Michael live, but risk him finding out what process made him? Or is it better to let him rest? Let them rest.
What do you mean, Kess, to let them rest?
I mean end them.
The sea immediately shakes his head.
There's an amount of pain that isn't worth it to endure.
That is not our choice. We can't
It's our
just go
choice.
around killing people because we think it's best for them.
They're not people, they're gargoyles. They were
They're
created by us, and that is what we do. When a thing is no longer useful, because they are things at this point, we destroy them. We were attempting to be diplomatic, to be kind. However, the fact of the matter is, the Unbowed must be destroyed. Michael, beloved by all I know, is a weakness and a potential for failure if we were to remain in the Camarilla. That is the fact of it, fortunately.
They shouldn't exist by the traditions. There was no observed law of creation, and they have no clan.
And it's cruel.
I'm not arguing that they should be destroyed. I'm arguing that we are making decisions by not making decisions.
I'm aligned with Jordy along this line of thought. We must take action, and we must make a decision. If we are citizens in Ivory Tower, then we must act in accordance. If we are not, then we can philosophize on the tenets on leaving these things to remain. That's fine, but we must make a decision.
I must disagree. The studies that I have read said that the gargoyles were freed, or meant to be freed. They were not to be enslaved any longer, and that is the rule of the Camarilla. Perhaps I have this wrong, but it was not to destroy all gargoyles.
What role would it be to... Okay, yeah.
There'll be difficulties telling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Quaidoo could be wrong.
I got a success.
What's the event cast? From what you guys know, there is no strict ruling on how to handle gargoyle on age. It is up to the prince to decide whether or not they want them to be executed or kept around. Some princes have been known to keep free gargoyles as servants or guards, things along those lines. Generally, though, it's believed that gargoyles themselves are considered caitiff in a lot of ways. They also are a threat to the Masquerade. So if a prince believes that they are indeed more likely to be a problem than a solution, they would probably just have them. And specifically, what Hasib is referencing is called the Gargoyle Revolt. That was not done by the Camarilla, that was done by a member of the Tremere trader.
And what I was referring to is progeny. So
yeah,
anyone can have their progeny killed for making progeny that isn't approved.
Exactly.
By the prince first.
And gargoyles are kind of a gray area to
it. Based on what we know, then, if we are to remain members of the Camarilla, we could beseech the prince for Michael's survival and potentially leave the Unbound out to dry, using up a considerable amount of political capital.
We would need to survive the Unbowed first, and we would need to be able to capture it. What I did was temporary. It won't last long.
What do you think the Camarilla will do when they find out that we have no elders?
Use us.
They use those who are powerful.
I meant use us as pawns. Not as any actual powerful weapon.
Or will they replace us?
What?
We are part of the Camarilla because we were useful. If we're barely a clan anymore, will we hold a seat?
If you have a tool that is no longer useful, what point is there to have it around?
You want to leave, don't you, Jordy?
No. I want things to go back to last week. That's not an option.
If seems a bit frustrated. If the whole purpose of us being part of this greater community, the Camarilla, was our usefulness, then why not we be useful? We can still be useful. These talents that we have to figure out why they are failing. And then we can be useful, continue to be, and continue to have the protections that the Camarilla offers.
The seed is what's vaguely, from what we understand, necessary for us to be able to get our power back. The Sabbat is exactly opposite to that. They want it for the same reason. So we have to go up against the Sabbat if we want what we had back.
And based on our interactions with the Camarilla, they will tell us to do it ourselves or give us some ghouls as cannon fodder.
There has to be another way.
The Camarilla would cede control over to the Sabbats just like that? That's not what I read in the books.
I'm not confident they would, in that the Sabbat is the other party to this. It's also the Sabbat. They're going to choose us. They can control us. It's smarter to go with us. But then they're going to want to control us.
Exactly. Furthermore, I don't believe that we'll be receiving a considerable amount of support in this endeavor.
That's the whole reason we have banded together with the Camarilla, right? It is for a common protection. The Sabbat and the Camarilla has been at war for, I don't know how long. If there are Sabbat wandering around the city in territories that are of clans of the Camarilla, why would we not have allies in this, if not for common protection?
Something's happening around the city, Hasib. We can't find the prince. I don't trust the seneschal. So who do we trust? Who do we reach out to?
Well, we don't reach out to the one that murders people so nonchalantly. People just working a job at a museum.
So then, it would appear that we have decided to remain members of the Camarilla.
I don't know the answer.
For the time being, it seemed that way. So, well, we're Camarilla. We have to be very careful. With the traditions, that hasn't changed. Our situation's changed. As far as we know, the Camarilla has not.
So then, with this in mind, I would recommend, if you have not already spoken to the sheriff about it, inform the sheriff of both of the gargoyles and request substantial support in wrangling in the Unbound. And
That much has been discussed.
I see. And what support do they offer?
Hounds. We need to tell her about the Sabbat.
Well, of course, we are members in good standing of the Camarilla. It's important that we do that.
I can start telling the Nosferatu that the Sabbat are in the city, though I assume they already know, in the hopes that they spread the rumor a little quicker.
Good.
Does anyone have any means of knowing what's going on beyond the realm of this city? any contacts of kindred nature in another city?
I don't have kindred contacts, but I have kind political contacts. That's all I've got. We're talking full disclosure.
I can get on the forums. Shreknet might have something.
Just don't hang out with bike guys.
White Geist is he's cool.
Not your friend.
Hasim does not seem convinced.
See what they're saying, especially with anything we've talked about tonight.
Caius may come tonight if he's angry enough. Just
Caius is Camarilla.
he's very angry. Just brace yourself. But so we stay with the camp for now. We need to deal with the gargoyle. I bought us almost nothing. Half of the job was done by rolling the car.
We have the ritual to find its location. We have the assistance of hounds. So I would say tomorrow evening our focus is the gargoyle, to the detriment of everything else, it would seem.
I think another point of order is that I need to feed badly. Because I have a lot to heal. And frankly, I'm starving.
And perhaps more than 2 this time, Dr. Quangle. Be nice to have proper backup.
I have means of feeding myself. Someone's welcome to come with me. I need to not be starving and not be in pain.
It would appear that we all need to feed. Why don't we go out all as a pack? Then
Does anyone have a means of dealing with Kess's ailment?
when you say ailment, please be more detailed.
Please do.
If I understand it correctly, it seems that Caius is capable of assaulting him from a distance. I thought it was a seizure, and I did not pin him down.
Very good. Very good. Describe the effects to me.
It's pain. I did something stupid and he punished me. Bones breaking, things breaking.
He did what? What? That's... When?
When we were on the phone.
He was there. I did not know he was with you.
He wasn't.
This was done from a distance, it appears, from what they're saying.
I did something stupid.
Intelligence of the cult. Those who wish to. This will be difficulty step.
I already know the answer, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure. I don't know if he knows the exact thing, but I think he knows vaguely.
Okay, we're getting back there. We're
Hey,
getting back.
you're getting back. You failed like 2 rolls, and I was scared. Because if you're failing rolls, we're...
You learn that it is often used, people use, Tremere can use the blood of their target as a focus for their magic. which can allow them to do things that they normally wouldn't be able to and target people that they cannot see or whatever it is. It seems like that is.
I see.
Okay. For you, Hasib, one question comes to your mind. Why is it that Caius's magic seems to be fine and working like in this case, but all yours is failing? So let's stick that in your mind.
Hasib, his brows kind of furrowed. So he could do such a horrible act over through a distance. He could just do that.
He's always been able to do that.
I was going to. Oh, sorry.
I was rash and I was stupid and a little too confident.
Why are we spending all this time looking for the Unbound when he can just do this? It seems like his abilities aren't affected.
He needs my blood.
Yes,
And he has
it was
it.
given. That was my prognosis. And as Dr. Quango stands up and starts staring in like Kess's eyes and looking around, doing the whole doctor thing.
His
It would
eyes,
appear-
all the capillaries in his eyes burst, so it's just red. And then his irises.
Don't worry, I can do something about that.
I'm not biting you.
No.
But yes,
Okay,
see.
so no, it's all good. So then we're all going out on a hunt tonight, so I could probably do this. Mark, can I use a point of blood to use flesh craft to kind of heal and make Kess okay?
Okay. How much blood do you want to spend on this? And say for each point of blood, you can heal 1 point of lethal damage on that.
How many points of lethal damage do you have there, Kess?
Oh. Not enough that you're going to fix all of it. I have
Also, Dr. Fangle, you need some replacement flesh to put in his place. You can use your own, you can use somebody else's, but you need to use something. It's not just a magic.
It's not flesh wounds, it's internal.
Eventually, you'd have to recraft Kess's internal in some kind of flesh as a replacement.
Do we have any ghouls around?
Oh, God. No. Did you ask that out loud?
Always Goulburn. Here for this conversation, but they are around.
Yes, Quango would have asked that out loud. That's what they're for.
Why do we need a ghoul?
Because I could rebuild you.
Rebuild?
How?
Via my considerable knowledge of the flesh and having a volunteer, I could restore you to your former health.
How? I need a little bit more explanation. And why we need a ghoul for it.
Because there must be a sacrifice of some kind, their flesh for yours.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. And he stands up very broken. Starts moving away from Quangle. I'm
Quangle?
great. I can feed and fix this. Do not use other people as fodder to fix whatever I am.
Okay, I hear you. So let's say we go out to feed. Machias comes. Are you in any point or any level of health to defend yourself? You made your choice, but I just want to make sure you're aware of all.
I don't need to hunt like you. I have other means, but right now I can't fight him. He can do this to me from his haven.
Then, rather than going after the Gargloat tomorrow evening, maybe tomorrow evening we take care of Caius. But we must agree to do one course of action.
And what does taking care of Caius look like exactly?
Yeah, how are we supposed to beat him?
No, that's not my question. My question is, are we going to destroy him?
No.
Because I thought we just decided to be Camarilla.
We are all members of Clan Tremere. We would not destroy him. We would reduce his ability to move and bring him before the Regent for judgment.
That judgment goes to the prince.
If that's your decision, thank you for informing me. Then we bring him before the prince. But we can't have him out there as a rogue actor.
The sheriff.
For now, I suppose.
The sheriff wanted proof that he created the gargoyles. We get that proof. That's enough. But we need to figure out the unbowed first.
I say once
right.
the ritual to discover the location of the unbowed is finished, which it should be done shortly, we get a message to the unbowed. One of Caius's haven location. If there is any justice for the unbowed, if that is going to have any at the end of its life, if that is what we are doing, then it should have it.
Very sound strategy, Hasib. Let the monsters destroy themselves.
How do we
Convince
talk
whoever
to it?
remains. There should be stuff. Surely someone here has a way of long-range communication.
Are gargoyles considered kindred?
Yes.
I may be able to. I need time. But, I don't. This is a lot.
Mark, remind me where we had the blood. Where did that get left?
Yeah.
Did I take that to my office? Remember I found all that blood down in the dungeon? I was going through and verifying.
I believe it would be still there unless you took it somewhere else. It's up to you. You would know where it is.
Things got busy. I'm going to assume that I left it there.
Mm.
If he can track and do things through blood, it's worth noting that we had his leftover vials down in the dungeon. And one of them was not one of us.
He had blood in the dungeon?
Assuming. He's the only one who spends time down there.
Whose do you have?
All of ours.
I thought that it was protocol for a chantry to have the
He-
blood of everyone in case of rebellion.
Being out of line.
He
Indeed.
left it here. That's why he wanted it. He left it here.
You're saying this blood is still in the dungeon?
Specifically, all your blood, plus one blood that was unidentifiable but was not a match.
And we haven't seen it in a few days. Coingo's gonna run out the room to go grab the blood.
It's still there. It's in like one of those large wooden things with all the vials in them. As that happens, we quickly cut away to a different scene. As we cut over to Maruna. was drawing some cards.
She is drawing some cards. She's trying to open her mind to insight and who they should ally themselves with for the greatest chance of their collective survival. Essentially, is the thought that's in her mind, the question.
The first card for is the moon. Second card you draw is the moon. Final card you draw is the moon. You see all three of them staring at you. You watch as they begin to twist and spin. Reverse, and then upright. Then reverse, then upright. Over and over and over again before they finally settle first. I think it's time we talked. Realize you're in a dark space. And then lit the bear. But a voice called that mine. Be not afraid. I will not hurt you.
She turns slowly.
Around your woman in a black dress. A dark veil over her face, hiding her.
I've seen you. You helped me, didn't you? You left that note.
There are things you need. Which you need.
Yes.
You wish to know who you should side with. Who you can trust.
I think those are two different questions. I don't think we can trust anyone.
You're correct, child. There is no one to trust. As there is no one you ally with that will give you the answers you truly seek. All paths lead equally, yes and duty. Choice is not which is better, but which you think you could live, walk in.
I know what the answer is for me. But what I believe is so small in the scope of the universe and the scope of everything, and I need to connect with something greater than myself to know my true direction. I know what my instinct says.
You must find the last daughter of Eve.
The last daughter of E.
He is your last, and he is the vessel that would be your undoing or your evolution.
Do you know where I can find her?
You already do, child. You already know. Find the child. Find the vessel. And unlock the...
Me.
Choice is yours of what you want to do with it.
No.
Who are you?
I am like you. One who has seen more than perhaps they should have. It's the Dark Mother that will fight. Find her faces. Follow them. You will find your destiny. Time of judgment is at hand, child. You and your full blood will be judged. That is, if you survive. Looks up at the sky. And as you look up, you see a shining red star.
That's it. That's the end.
No, child.
I've
The sign.
a sign. Sign of what?
The wormwood. It is a sign of all that is to come. Pillars of the night society are shaking and rumbling. Soon all will come to face their judgment. You must help decide whether the House of Tremere will be there to see it through.
We will. We have to.
Believe in you. Do not disappoint her. With that, you watch as from the black dress to her body, flowers begin to sprout. Bright, beautiful color. Stems begin to extend outwards as you watch as her flesh begins to tear and blood begins to bleed forth from her eyes, from her mouth, from her nose, from her very body. Before what stands before you is the tree that is familiar. A pomegranate.
I'll take it.
As you do, you find yourself also be a man. Dark skin, messy hair, wild, and a beard that is unkept and uncombed. Turns to you. You see in his eyes loneliness, pain, anger, rage. The Dark Father is coming for you all. For all just to... And if I'm watching, everything will end. Verona, you take 1 point of aggravated damage as you snap back to reality. You feel this throbbing in your head, and your heart beating as fast as it can. You feel your breath rise and fall as you begin to choke on stale air. And then you remember, don't need to breathe. Your heart doesn't need. And things begin to a sense of normalcy.
With that, she will take a second to collect herself and start to head back downstairs.
Right. With that, we return to the conversation as Maruna enters.
Is this Quangle and Jordy were both going out to the basement, so maybe we're both gone at this point?
I think you would both return with the blood samples, I would assume. Unless you plan to keep them in the basement.
No, just a little bit of a... Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a key factor is after Quangle went running out, Jordy walked to the door, changed the door to the basement, and then walked in the basement. And then waited for Quangle. Yeah.
In that case, we cut to Dr. Quankle running through the halls, opening the door, before finally opening the door to the basement and seeing Jordy is already back.
You get no points for doing that. You get no points for doing that, Jordy. You could have just kept them in your office. Thank you. He grabs
We were busy. Let's collect what we need and get back up there.
Okay. I think that's all.
Jordy, make me a willpower check. Difficulty 7.
Alrighty.
This is current willpower.
Well, I haven't really spent any, so
Fair enough.
there's that. Yeah. Difficulty 7, though?
Yeah, difficulty 7. One success. You feel this feeling, this presence enter your mind. It's the chantry. Like it's responding to you. It seems like it's asking a question, but there's no words, just a feeling. Almost like it's alive.
Gertie stops and just tries to concentrate on it. I bet it probably appears weird to Quangle as he goes to retrieve stuff and Jordy just freezes.
Quangle would pause and look at Jordy.
I think Jordy's going to try to, listen more or make sense of it, right? Because, yeah.
As you focus in, you just get that feeling of the question, wonder, and then it fades. You're not able to get any more at the time.
right, Jordy will continue then, like nothing happened.
All right, Jordy, do we want to talk about that, or are we too busy?
I don't really have a way to explain it.
All right, I'll pencil you in for a session tomorrow then. Come along. Guess we return to the room.
Hasib would have been on the opposite side of the room from Kess if they were left alone in that room. Just reading the nameless book, even if
He's
the pages
mad
are
at
empty.
me. Okay.
Does Maruna get back before the other two?
Yes, you will.
I think she'll walk in, somehow looking even worse for wear.
Probably something that Maruda wouldn't realize, but the other two would realize. You could see that blood has kind of dried that falls down from her eyes, and probably a little bit from her ears as well.
What happens? Hasib immediately stands up and takes a few paces over.
I looked for guidance, and is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Yes.
You're looking about how I do right now. In the face. Somehow worse than I do. And Tess is gonna pull out a handkerchief and just hand it to him.
Yeah, she's just gonna... Does blood come away?
Yeah,
Which...
like dried blood.
Oh,
Twinkle will start inspecting Maruna's face. Are there any open wounds or anything like that?
Not external.
What did you do?
I pulled my cards and tried to see. Well, we need to find the last daughter of Eve.
What? The Eve? Is this an Eve we know?
She's talking about Adam and Eve.
What? From the Bible?
How do we do that, Maruna?
Well, he's kind of laughs slightly, just already anticipating that this is not going to be up Kess's alley. Follow the moon. Pieces of the moon. I think we might already be. She might be someone I'm already looking for.
Okay.
In question for Mark, would Maruna be able to tell what the lady in the black veil was speaking about when she said that it was, you already know where she is?
Indeed. It seems as if she was referring to a girl, but your good old
Right, look.
friend Fox asked you to find.
Yep.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
Her name is Selena Francis. And she'll kind of look at Dr. Quangle because she's already shared that name with Dr. Quangle.
Are you feeling strong enough to tell them, or do you want me to inform them?
She kind of wipes the blood from her eyes and ears. I can't say I'm feeling particularly strong, but I can try my best.
Quangle nods.
Power roll.
Yeah. And how do I mark off ag damage exactly? Under health, is it hurt?
It is the it's only 1 point, and then you beat it's your bruise. Where?
Okay. Gotcha. Alrighty.
I think you got bit at the asylum too.
But I don't think that was ag. I think that was just lethal.
What was that?
Oh.
That one was that. It was from Banks.
Oh, it was
And still aggravated damage.
Okay.
So if you haven't healed the previous point of ag, then it would be there as well. Just so you know, to heal ag, it takes 5 points of blood.
Mm-hmm. So let's see, willpower. What was the difficulty?
I don't remember. Booze aren't coming.
Okay.
I believe it was difficulty 9.
Okay.
Might be wrong. We'll do that for now.
Sounds good to me. Wow.
Yeah. It's something about being able to have said it before makes you feel empowered. Having shared it with Wangle seems to have taken away the power that Fox has over you, at least for a moment. You feel yourself free to talk a bit as you wish. Your true feelings of the bond disappears to the back of your mouth.
Ever since I've come into my unlife, I have been bloodbound to a traitor who lives outside, obviously, the chantry. I've been sent on a variety of quests, some of which have gotten me into more trouble than others. And she'll kind of look pointedly, I think, at Kess and Hasib. He's a collector. And when he wants something, he doesn't really take no for an answer. So I wasn't able to talk about it for a long time. But I guess necessity, putting all our secrets on the table and whatnot. The most recent task I've been given was to find a girl by the name of Selena Francis. He wants her for his collection. But there's a greater purpose, I think, to finding her now. Better one.
Perhaps the same reason you're looking.
What do you mean?
You're not the only one who can see things, right?
No, but Fox doesn't care about... Well, he might care about it because she's special. He cares about that. But he doesn't care about anything practical. He just likes things that are pretty and magical.
How did this bond start? The blood bond.
When my sire found me, and I already told you that the embrace wasn't my choice. As soon as I was able to, I ran from him. And as a starving fledgling, Fox offered me his blood, and I didn't know. I met him before I was brought to the chantry. He said he would protect me. He didn't.
And none of your sire or none of the elders, they never remove this bond?
No one knew, at least not to my knowledge. When I get... Sorry. I was out on an errand for him one day, and the Tremere, I guess they'd been looking for me. They caught up with me. Ah, yes. Caught up with me. So I ended up back here. And I didn't hear from Fox again until he needed something.
Where does Fox sleep, Maruna?
She would give the address of the building.
It's in the Torrido domain.
Yeah.
The building's under high security, though.
Seems still shakes his head. He's been deep in thought. We are the clan, the masters of our bloods, and wouldn't that not include bonds? I swear, someone should have known.
They likely did.
And be that as it may, we must remember to add this to the list of things to do. However, I believe that all these things are interconnected somehow. Even without Maruna's sight, it is all convenient that all of our issues and bonds are coming to a head now, just as the pyramid crumbles.
I see. We're going to need that information. I need to know what else is going on here.
He blinks. Information?
Yes, from the tool you were talking, the World Wide Web.
Snorts.
Asim kind of smirks as well, but yes, I can check Shreknet and see if others are. I'm sure if this is happening elsewhere, that it is filling the forums now with talk and discussion.
I see it's more priorities.
I was going to say, I know it's getting rather late, but those of us who need to feed, we should go relatively soon before the sun rises.
Indeed. First point of order.
Could use to
Figure I would caution we either all go together or something, because there's a very angry gargoyle lurking, and he can still very much attack us. So if people can feed from here, I would highly recommend it.
Can you?
No, I prefer to.
I can make it happen.
How?
We're going out as a group. Hasib, if you do not wish to come, you are not required. You have a duty.
I have enough for now, and I am on the cusp of unlocking the old regent's secured chest. I hope whatever is in there can help us greatly.
Keep Michael with you.
Will you keep your cell phone on you?
Yes, to see if I will keep my phone on me.
Okay.
I'll try to answer it as long as I'm not getting pulverized, you know? We should get ready to go.
I'll be at the door.
I'm gonna follow Jordy.
Okay.
And once they're out of earshot, Hess is going to say, if you're serious about leaving the cam, And any of that. And Kai's isn't dealt with beforehand.
I realize that. That's why
He'll-
I'm asking the question.
He'll kill me, so I need you to do me a favor.
What's that?
Don't let him diablerize me. Whatever it takes. And I'm going to give you a list of phone numbers to call. And you're going to call them and tell them I'm dead.
Sounds like you're planning your own death.
I mean, technically I already died, Jordy.
Put your numbers somewhere. As you heard in the room, we're not leaving the Camarilla.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think Marina and them will stay there long.
That's a bridge to cross later.
Yeah. Let's live to see that bridge.
I think when Marina comes back to meet them, she will ask. First ask Kess, what did you mean about feeding from here?
Well, everyone's gonna learn tonight. I have people who let me feed from them. I could call one of them here.
Are they friends?
Something like that. It's very complicated and a little embarrassing.
Well, it would be safer to feed from here.
I can't feed everyone. I can feed myself. And I'm probably not enough to actually
Heal.
fix anything. I'm sorry, by the way, for what I suspect Caius did to you. Him finding you didn't end there, is my guess, so I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's you would know better than anyone. That's why. That's why. I can't let him keep holding his power over you forever.
He's not a today problem. He's a much further in the future problem. Right now it is feeding Gargoyle Sabat. Then him.
Right.
Let him have his power for a little longer. I kind of deserved this anyway.
No, you didn't.
You can ask Jordy. I was a little bit ballsy on the phone.
Good. He deserves to hear the truth.
We all
left
deserve gold.
message.
Well, I can't change him now. Another day. I'll deal with him. For now.
We will. Together. All of us.
I mean, we find enough evidence, we pull him in front of the prince, it'll go the way we want it to anyway. So. But again, that's another day's issue. Today is feeding, tomorrow is gargoyle.
Right. We should be on our way.
Possibly turning monsters on themselves, so.
Luckily, finding evidence is your specialty.
Sometimes. Hasib should feed.
With that, we cut away to Hasib. Just Hasib up here.
Hasib, I think he is found back in the library, back diving into books. I think he's also perhaps he's sitting there with Michael, actually. And even if Michael doesn't say much or do much, or, you know, maybe he's quite puzzled as to what these books are, Hasib just likes to make random comments or perhaps discuss things, a one-sided discussion, but just talk to Michael and
Michael sits there with a book open, staring into it. Not reading it, just staring at the pages.
Right. I think Hasib is very focused on getting the Regent box chest open, because that could hold something we really need, and we have been doing it for a few nights, and he's pretty close to getting that unlocked.
All right. With that, we see Hasib with the book out, looking at it, making notes. The box sitting on a pedestal as he has the silver key in his hand. We watch as he prepares the ritual to be cast. We watch as Hasib says a few words in Latin. We watch as on the key the little runes begin to glow, burning into the silver. As he brings it forth and touches it, the small box. And we watch as there is the sound of a click, and watch as an energy fizzles around the box, as the ward that is cast is dispelled, and the box is unlocked.
So Hasib is a curious young lad. He would at first be completely surprised it worked. He kind of flinched at the end there for a giant explosion that was surely going to happen. But as he opens his eyes back up, he looks at the key and then to the box. Michael, I think it's done. I think all the work paid off. I think I don't sense any energy around the box.
That is good. You have helped Hasib. Nod.
And Hasib nods. Well, we have helped. All right. So, the others, I think they're out. They're probably out feeding now. And Well, it is unlocked. And we shouldn't waste any time discovering what may be kept away. It could help us. I could start researching now what is, found in the box. And as he looks around the room, looks to Michael and looking for someone to say no to this, and probably seeing none, he's going to take another step towards the box and
You do watch as the empty book flops open as pages fall to the side.
Oh, that stops Hasib in his tracks there for a second. He tilts his head. Oh, it's my friend Garot. Let me see what. And he runs on over to the book to flip open a page.
You want it. It simply says, learn of the ritual. Give me the key.
Learn of the ritual. Hasib, with the key still in his hand, he kind of looks at it and he just sets it on the page.
The key sits on the page.
Well, it was worth a try. I mean, it is a key. Yeah, okay, so it's a riddle. I do like riddles. And he looks back towards the box. He picks up the book as he heads over to the box, and with a creeping smile growing on his face, he's going to open the box.
As you open up the box, inside is a large clay cylinder that looks to be a scroll holder. And next to it, a wilted petal from a flower.
The scroll case seemed completely normal for we're students of magic and the blood magics, but the flower for our previous regent, who was not didn't seem like a flower kind of guy, that throws him off. I think he's gonna first reach for the flower because it is so abnormal. Does it feel old? Does it seem like
It seems very old. It seems like a long wilted. It's almost like a little shot. In fact, as you see, it cuts through your skin. A bit of blood drips out onto it.
Hasib flinches a little bit and
you watch as the blood drips from the leaf onto the book. And you see the book begin to absorb the blood as it disappears from the page. Then you see writing begin to appear, this time in red. The ritual is needed for our survival. However, do not fall for the trick that has been implanted within. Have faith in the clan. You shall succeed. The red writing then fades in the book.
a trick.
And as you look through the petal, it's no longer wilted. Full of life once more. This bright red flower. Petal wrap.
How fascinating. A trick. I suppose I'll have to read the scroll. And Hasib, he'll gently place the flower petal, perhaps like onto the book, if he still has that open and in one hand, and he'll pop the scroll case open if he can.
We see there's a burst of dust as air is let into this ancient-looking scroll holder. And inside you see what looks to be a bit of parchment. Has been wound on itself like scroll.
Oh, Hasib loves ancient parchment. He very gently, because he knows this could be very delicate, is going to unfold it.
But that, as we see Hasib unfold the scroll and look into it, the dyed widening as they scan across the delicate paper. We're going to end the session there for this week.
I knew you were going to do that!
So yes, to our lovely viewers, I hope you've enjoyed some special shout outs to Keywork Savior for the 100 bits, and Commodore Zned, who has given us 400 bits throughout the session. So a big thank you to both of them. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see everyone who is watching join us next week. If you like this, give us a follow. And if you want more stuff, stay tuned, for I will have more fun vampire series on this channel. So stay tuned. I think with that, let's do some outros. Let's start off with our dear regent of this chantry. Bob, why don't you give us your outro?
Taking time, Bob here. We do a bunch of Pendragon and some Legend of the Five Rings over on my channel with a lot of these folks here, / all of these folks here at different times. So, yeah, come check that out. Specifically, Mark and Ree and I will be playing on Saturday.
And yeah, thank you very much. Well, up next, the broken investigator. Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
Somehow I'm still very broken. Hi, I'm Emily. I played Hess, who is a very broken investigator. But I'm also in another game on Tuesdays on Taking Time Bob's channel, which is Summerlin Enchantment. We do the Pendragon thing, so King Arthur-esque kind of setting, except we're the fairy side of it. We're the mystical side of it. It is weird. It is fun. It is sometimes terrifying. And highly recommend seeing that and everything on Mark's channel. So yeah.
Very nice. Up next, our befuddled seer. Ree, why don't you give us your outro?
Hi everyone, I'm Ree. I played Maruna today. Oh, things are never simple. Guys, every vision just complicates it even more, and I love it. In addition to here, you can catch me as Bob said on his channel on Saturdays right now playing Legends of the Five Rings. You can catch me with Mortal Rolls on Mondays. We play a Pathfinder 2nd edition game inspired by Greek and Roman mythology. And you can also, if you like the art from this stream, you can catch me on my channel where I draw at Sorcery Arts.
And please support Ree as she is quickly building her way towards affiliated with her own stream. So please check her out.
7 away, guys. 7 away.
7 away. And hopefully my mods will give a shout out to Sorcery.
Sorcery Arts.
Sorcery Arts.
Yeah.
With that, why don't we move to our enigmatic book whisperer? Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
Sure. Yeah, Zach, I played Hasib tonight, and oh boy, sassy Hasib was in the house, and I kind of love it. Being the dutiful neonate new kid on the block, actually attempting to stand up for himself. It was semi-successful, I would say. So, and then he promptly steps right back into trouble by investigating by himself in the end there with the chest. He's gonna get yelled at, but that's Hasib. He steps in shit all the time. So, but yeah, had a blast. Can't wait for next time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good fun. All right, and last but certainly not least, our suspicious sturgeon. Time, bro. Why don't you give us your outro?
Howdy, y'all. I am the Cyber Bro. I have been playing Dr. Quentin Quengle, who's knowledgeable in subjects of the flesh and the mind. He knows about them both, everybody. Great session today. Got a lot of sass from Hasib. Not a fan of Hasib's sass. Quangle's not a fan of Hasib's sass. How dare he?
Fair enough. And I have been your storyteller tonight evening, Mark, aka the CatsMeow. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll join us for more as we continue to do more streams and slowly begin to make our way towards what may or may not be the end of all things. So stay tuned for that. Soon I will have more series on my channel. I'm still currently in the process of sorting them, but hopefully it will be a Vampire the Masquerade boom / World of Darkness boom on my channel. A renaissance, if you will, or a re-darkening of some sort. In either case, hope you enjoyed us lots. A big shout out to Ree once again for all the lovely art she has done for this channel, as well as this lovely overlay that you see here. So go check out all her stuff, including her Instagram and her Twitch, for all the wonderful help. What else? I think with that, we're going to raid out. If there's any other shout-outs people would like to do in the meantime, feel free to do so. Let's find some people. Share the love.
I don't have a shout out, but here's a cat.
Shout out to the cat.
Internet loves cats.
Cat needs character sheet now.
He's the big bad.
The familiar.
Cool cat. Familiar.
Cool cat.
I'm a cool cat.
It's Beatrice's cat that is somewhere.
I don't want to talk about it.
We're probably 4 hours into this stream, so we'll see how long they last. Well, let's go say hi. Give them the Tremere hello. That is by threatening to turn them into horrific monsters. With that, have a good night, all.
Bye.
Hey.
Or etiquette roll.